Welcome back mga kaibigan, good evening sa lahat, and you're watching the Green Premier League 2014 Spring Season. I'm DigiSphere.
And I'm Jay.
We're about to watch a match between Team ISG and CGS Gaming laban sa team members of the Imperium Pro Gaming Team. Bago ang lating natin ang schedule natin for tonight. Jay?
Yes, alright. So, our schedule for tonight. So, the first game was actually supposed to be between Neo Illusion Full Lewis versus Azubu Taipei Assassins. And medyo na-cancel yung game na yun because Full Lewis decided to forfeit that game. The second game of the match was between the Bangkok Titans versus the Saigon Jokers, where this was actually a very nice match also. And followed by, at 7 p.m., it was the Neo Full Lewis again versus the Singapore Sentinels. And the Full Lewis is able to actually upset the heavy favorite Singapore Sentinels. Now, right now, we're going to have our final match of the day. It will be, again, between Insidious Gaming versus the Imperial Pro Team.
Yes, para sa ating standing for tonight. So far sa Group A natin, we have HQ still sa top 160. TPS having the 4-2 score. SAJ 3-2. ISG Insidious Gaming sa kalaban ngayon ng Team IPT having the 2-3 score. 0-4 para sa IPT. And sa Bangkok Titans having the 0-4 as well. So, dalawang team dito. Ang Bangkok Titans at ang IPT still sa bottom line natin dito. Dalawang bottom player or teams dito sa ating GPL Group A.
That's right. So, dito naman sa Group B standings, of course, the TPA still undefeated with a 5-0 record, followed closely by SF5. This is actually a surprising team this season that's actually going 4-1. And then SGS currently actually at 3-3. And then Neo Full Lewis actually picking up a win just earlier, so he's now currently at 2-3. Emily still at 1-4, and at last place still is the Yo Flash Wolves at 1-5.
Yes, so ito na mga kaibigan, head-to-head match tayo between Team ISG Insidious Gaming versus the Imperium Pro Gaming Team. Who do you think sa dalawang team na to ang mag-dominate this day?
Actually, looking at both their records, medyo hindi naman sila nagkakalayo in terms of standing. So I still think that this is still very much a toss coin. It really depends on the champion picks and bans, including the game, the way the game plays out.
Well, it's just gaming knowing that their team won 2 matches in this sa kanilang group dito. 2-3 ang kanilang score. 3 losses and 2 wins.
That's right.
So for yung 2 wins doon, isang win doon ay nanggaling sa, kung di ako nagkakamali, someone from team dito na mahirap mapigilan from team sa group A. So kailangan pigilan ng Team Imperial Pro Team ang Team Insidious Gaming dito at kailangan nilang manalo para makabawi sa kanilang standings dito.
Yes. Although Imperial Pro Team has not won any of their games yet, their 2 games, one against HQ and one against TPS, were very close. So I think that IPT, the way they're trending, the way they're playing right now, will actually is continuing to improve. And if they continue improving, I think they might actually win this game.
Yeah, so far ang ating head-to-head match between Team ISG versus the Imperium Pro Gaming Team, Windowlicka versus kay Rebenga dito, both jungler player ng mga gabelang panig dito. So far, I think Windowlicka have to do something sa aggressive style na ginagawa ni Rebenga, but Rebenga also have to notice yung kanyang pagiging aggressive dito. Kung mapapansin mo yung mga laban nila, mga recent matches ng Team Imperium Pro Gaming Team, hindi ganoon na nade-develop yung skill itong si Rebecca. Unfortunately, yung kanyang effectiveness during sa laning phase, medyo nahihirapan siyang mag-gank ng maayos sa kanyang kalaban.
That's
And
right.
sobrang aggressive siya. Nagkakaroon yung chance sa kanyang kalaban dito na makuha yung HP, yung buhay niya dito. Also, yung team member niya na ginagank niya. And instead of them getting the kill, they will get killed instead sa laban na to. So far, let's see how Team IPT will dominate the laning phase against the team members of ISG dito sa laban na to.
That's right. Alright, so looking at the lineups coming from Insidious Gaming and Imperial Pro Team, Insidious Gaming have actually had, so right now they're at 2-3 right now, and although they are slightly higher in ranking to Imperial Pro Team, being in the middle of the rankings right now, Imperial Pro Team, Insidious Gaming is slightly this looks like to be the more favorable matchup for this game. But Imperial Pro Team, we can't say definitely the members from Imperial Pro Team have actually all very good individual skills, and if they can just implement it to a better team fighting orientation, I think they should be able to pull out a win out of this game.
Yeah, so far mga kaibigan, ito na laban sa pagitan ng Team ISG at IPT. So far, we're still waiting na makumpleto ang ating mga teams dito sa ating lobby. So, Team IPT have to secure ang mga champion dito ng Team ISG. If ever they have to ban Renekton, they have to ban Shyvana, Olaf para dito kay BBTY is top lane ng ISG dito. He usually pick a champion like na merong aggressiveness and also yung kanyang sustain sa laning phase dito. Renekton, Shyvana, Trundle, any champion na kaya niya mag-sustain sa top lane dito ay sobrang effective sa kanya. Also yung mga champion dito, ang goal niya ay talagang mag-shove ng champion from the team members of IPT. Secure yung advantage nila, get the AD carry, get the AP carry as much as possible, and then hayaan yung mga team members niya na kumuha na iba pang champion from their team, from their opponent. So far, para naman kay Windowlicka, picking mga champion dito, usually he picked Pantheon, champion like Lee Sin, against dito sa IPT. So let's see, kung sino pipiliin yung champion ngayon, knowing na siya ay jungle nila, possible din na gumamit siya ng Elise against their opponent.
Yes, actually Rebenga has not yet, I believe, has not picked the same jungler twice yet in this season. He's picked up a Evelyn, he's picked up a Kha'Zix. Of course, these are all assassin-based champions. So as you can see, Rebenga definitely wants to be a hard carry for them in the jungle. So
Yes.
I guess the competition of IPT slightly revolves around Rebenga being the main assassin, aside from, of course, the Light, of course, doing also a really good job picking up great assassins at the same time. So we can definitely expect IPT here also picking up another tanky champion on the top lane.
So let's see, anong gagawin ngayon team ISG against team ng IPT? So far for the IPT, I'm thinking na meron na naman silang bagong plano ngayon, meron silang bagong lineup na ilalabas tonight. Let's see kung sino yung mga champion na gagamitin nila. Kahapon, we saw a match against the team ng TPS. IPT Light used Riven against KZ.
That's right.
Light dominate his lane.
Yeah.
Yes, he won.
He was the only one winning his lane.
Yes.
That's right.
Nanalo siya sa laning phase dito, but in the later part of the game, kita-kita natin yung dominance ni Zed dito.
Yes,
And very effective way yung pag ginagawa niya pag-pressure sa kanyang kalaban dito. Also, yung paggamit ng kanyang death mark kay Riven and kay Light, sobrang effective para sa champion niya. Mga kaibigan, game muna tayo, a match between Team Imperial Pro Gaming Team versus Team Sirius Gaming.
Alright, so on the blue side we have the ISG. Of course, their top lane is ISG BBTY. Their jungler is ISG Windowlicka. Their mid lane will be ISG Shinya. Crazy Pine and Vera will be at the bot lane for ISG. And in IPT side, of course, or the purple side, we have IPT Hero top lane, IPT Rebenga jungler, IPT Light, of course, will still be their mid lane. And of course, in their bottom lane is Fear and Hatred.
If I'm not mistaken, ito na yata yung pangalawang laban nila.
Between ISG and IPT?
Or they,
no, not yet.
They go against MLE before, no?
No, not yet.
Oh,
They're different.
I've seen Shinya playing his role. Oh, naalala ko na. I forgot. Nag-shoutcast kami before ni Gadget. Napanood ko yung ISG.
Okay.
ISG Shinya is a player na usually he pick Gragas, Ahri, champion na hindi siya nag-stay sa lane. Ito ang pinakamahirap para sa Team IPT dito. Kailangan nila i-secure yung objective nila to lock down Shinya in the mid lane. Hindi siya gumang sa ibang lane.
Yes, mahilig siya mag-roam.
Yes, itong effective na sa lineup ng Team ISG
especially on Gragas, he likes to roam a lot with Gragas, especially dun sa bot lane.
So, alright, so far ngayon, since nakita natin na binana ng Team ISG dito si Casadin, si LeBlanc, si Elise, at para naman sa IPT, we're seeing na binana nila ngayon si Gragas, Kha'Zix, at Thresh.
Actually, it's surprising that ISG decided to go for the Casadin ban. Normally, it's the purple side who would ban Casadin. So it looks like ISG just wasted kind of a ban there because it's very unusual for the blue team to ban Casadin. I guess they just really don't want to deal with the Casadin, so they just banned him out right away.
And actually, Casadin is a champion na usually alam natin na pinipili din to ni Light. That's why they have to ban this champion. Also, I think isang reason kung ba't kailangan nila iban si Casadin ay iniiwasan nila yung early burst damage na kanyang gawin sa kanila. And also, kailangan nilang iwasan dito yung champion na hindi nila mahuhuli once na magkaroon ng mga teamfight dito.
Alright, so first pick coming from BBTY is Leona. Obviously, this will be the support for ISG. Imperial Pro Team has actually picked up Lulu and Rebenga has picked up Pantheon. So definitely, I expect Rebenga to be using this Pantheon. He's done his previous games and even the other series that he's playing in. He uses Pantheon to really good efficiency with good ganks coming from Rebenga. Lulu now, of course, is a very highly contested pick right now. Sometimes in the mid lane because she's a really good. She always either wins lane or at least goes even because of a lot of utility she's able to do to stop assassin-based champions. So like if Shinya went for something like Gragas or an assassin type of champion like LeBlanc, definitely Lulu shouldn't have any problem with that.
And actually, I'm still thinking if tama nga ba yung pag-pick dito ng Pantheon. I'm still thinking if Pantheon is the right choice para sa kanilang jungle dito, knowing na pinili ng ISG dito si Leona as their support champion. Once mag-bandrop siya, yung kanyang Skyfall, there's just chance
Leona
na
can disengage with the Solar
kaya
Flare.
niya gamitin yung kanyang Solar Flare dito and then disabled kagad si Pantheon. Also, kaya siyang ma-lockdown ng team members from Team ISG dito. So let's see how Team IPT will dominate their laning phase. Also, yung mga teamfight na mangyayari to for the next few minutes. Mga kaibigan, IPT pick Annie and then si Caitlyn as their support and AD carry champion. So
Yes,
far,
actually,
I'm still thinking kung gagawin nilang mids itong si Annie and si Lulu.
No,
Usually,
I think it's gonna be definitely Annie in the bot lane because
usually ginagamit si Lulu pang bait sa mid lane. But since hindi nakakuha kagad ng mid lane itong team ng ISG, I'm thinking na gagawin nila mid lane si Lulu and also bottom lane si Annie.
yeah, para safe pick siya sa mid lane. So like you see, as you can see now, Vera might pick up the Syndra for the mid lane for Shinya here in the mid lane. So let's see how this turns out. As you know, Syndra is a very strong champion, but requires high mechanical skills to be played properly. So this would be an interesting pick. Is this the first Syndra for this season? I think this might be the first Syndra na ginamit this season, no?
Actually,
Or nagamit na ba siya
she's
once?
also being used by sa ibang games dito sa ating GPL. But I think, yeah, it's the first time na makita sa ating season ngayon, sa ating GPL. But they pick Ahri instead sa laban na to. So, Team ISG is thinking what champion to get against kay Lulu or kay Annie. So far ngayon, hindi pa kasi nila masigurado kung sino talaga gagawin nilang mid carry and AP carry dito. Both champion Lulu and Annie can be effective sa mid lane dito.
That's right.
I think one reason kung ba't kinuha nila si Annie para respond sa mga mangyayari ditong team fight. If ever mag-Grand Skyfall si Pantheon, a backup plan galing sa team members of IPT, the T-Burst, the stun.
To
also,
counter the solar flare of Leona. So basically both teams will get stunned in the middle
there's
if
also
ever.
yung wild growth ni Lulu if ever na ma-lockdown nila si Pantheon dito once na
that's
mag-Grand
right.
Skyfall siya. Very effective lineup para sa team ng IPT. Also for the ISG, knowing that they picked a champion like si Renekton, having his Dominus, yung kanyang HP advantage, the damage output from Ahri, the burst damage from their champion dito, Shinya, si Crazy Pine using Severe this time. It's a very effective lineup dito. But so far, since we're seeing na kinuha nila si K-Tin para sa AD carry ng IPT, it's going to be a very hard time para dito kay Crazy Pine to secure his objective, getting the CS in the
That's
bottom
right.
lane.
Alright, so let's look at the final lineup. So both teams have already locked in all their champions. So in the top lane, it's going to be Renekton versus Shyvana. As we notice, actually Shyvana has a slight advantage over Renekton here in the top lane. But if BBTA is able to play safe at the early game and pick up probably some items like for some sustain in lane, he could actually eventually outlane Shyvana. But of course, in the late game, as we know, Shyvana can get really tanky. So it really depends on how they build this. Now in the jungle, Windowlicka decided to go for Amumu. It's been a while since anybody used Amumu, since everybody knows that Amumu is a really strong jungler. The only problem is he's really weak at the early levels, especially without his blue buff. So I wouldn't be surprised if
Actually,
IPT would challenge or contest the blue buff coming
Yes.
of ISG.
May mga instances kasi na kapag itong si Amumu ay hindi nakakuha ng kanyang blue buff, rekta na yan, buong game mahirapan siya makabawi.
true. It's
Hindi
really
siya
hard.
makakalaban dito against any team members of IPT. But so far ngayon, I think ISG have to secure their blue buff. First of all, syempre yun yung kailangan nilang objective dito. If ever na makagaw to from team members of IPT, it's going to be a very hard time para sa kanya to secure yung objective niya na mag-gank sa lanes, mag-farm sa CS dito sa kanya mga jungle.
Yeah, so looking at the lineup, like I mentioned just now, I do expect a very early invade coming from IPT. Actually, they have good CC at the early levels. They got stun from Annie, they got a slow from Lulu, and a possible stun coming from Pantheon, depending on what he picks up as his first kill. If not a blue invade, they might go for a red steal instead. But of course, that would be a little bit dangerous since, of course, Sivir and Leona can do a lot of damage also at the early levels. And if ever they decide to protect the red buff of ISG, so this will be a very highly contested level 1. But let's see how they plan to pull this out. Definitely, I really expect IPT to do something about this. They don't want a Windowlicka to be allowed to farm properly. Shutting down Amumu early can basically shut down Amumu for the rest of the game.
So far, for the lineup of team ng IPT versus the ISG, in the early part of the game, I would give the dominance dito sa laban nila for the team ng ISG. Knowing that they have Ahri, the burst damage, they have Severe dito, na using his boomerang, also yung solar flare coming from Leona, they can gain the advantage in the early part of the game. But since IPT having Caitlyn, having Lulu, sa mga, they have the champion like nagbibigay ng shields dito, the Grand Skyfall coming from Pantheon, the damage output, also the tankiness galing kay Hero dito. It's a very effective lineup para sa team ng IPT. If ever na mabuto sa late game, 30 minutes and so on, they can gain the advantage of winning this game. If ever na ma-stall nila yung laban and they at least dominate their lane, like getting the dragon, getting the turret, first tier turret sa laban na to, they can win this match. So let's see
Definitely.
how Team IPT will dominate this lane game against team members of ISG, knowing ISG is as a team na usually nagiging aggressive in the early part of the game. Early part of the game pa lamang, around 10 minutes, 15 minutes, nagkakaroon na kagad ng mga laban dito.
Yeah. And looking at the bottom lane naman, both champions, Severe and Kaden, are very strong pushers. So it's gonna be very hard for either of one of them to actually outpush one another. Definitely, it'll come down to the harass, especially since IPT has picked up Annie as a support. She's able to basically trade a lot of damage back to ISG, especially at the early level. So let's see how ISG plays this. I really expect Windowlicka to do something to help the bottom lane of the early game. But actually, this might be a little bit dangerous, of course, as we know, as Amumu doesn't provide that much utility until he gets level 6.
Yes, and so far ngayon, ang kaya i-contribute lang ni Amumu dito ay bukod sa yung kanyang stun, ay also yung kanyang damage output AoE. But I don't think, hindi kaya niyang gawin yun since Amumu is a champion na alam natin na magiging effective lang sa early part of the game once na meron siyang blue and red buff.
That's
If ever
right.
na wala siyang blue and red buff at nag-miss yung kanyang first skill dito, so magiging mahirap para sa kanya na mag-adjust to get back to his lane and then jungle farm talaban na to.
That's right.
So far,
Amumu will expect support from his mid lane and his bottom lane, especially once he goes into his jungle. I expect a lot of words coming from ISG early in the game, especially to protect Amumu in his jungle routes. And I expect IPT to do the same, probably to put more offensive warding to see where Amumu's going to be traveling in the bottom. Of course, definitely we expect a blue start. I don't know if ISG would like to go for a red start to prevent an early invade, so we'll have to see what will happen to that.
Napakaraming challenger para sa team ng ISG sa lahat ng di nakakalam. ISG sa team na nanggaling sa Singapore. So that's why ang kanilang server itong Singapore ngayon.
Yes.
And I think ISG versus team ng IPT. IPT have the chance to win this match, but they have to secure their lane objectives dito. Also yung Dragon, yung first tier turret. And knowing IPT, meron silang objective dito. They are the team na alam natin na since yung laban nila sa HQ, nakita natin yung kanilang dominance sa laning phase. And also yung kanilang pagsasama-sama dito, pag-i-stick para makakuha na isang pang objective. Unfortunately, nung laban na yun, hindi siya naging effective kasi umabot na tayo ng around 20 minutes na hindi pa nila nakakuha yung second tier turret. At dahil doon nakabawi yung AHQ, they won the match against the team members of IPT. So for ngayon, IPT have to secure na walang magkakamali sa kanila.
That's
Yun
right.
lang. Kahapon, actually they can win the match, but the trap na medyo
Yes, medyo na out of position si yung jungler nila.
Yes.
Or no, their top lane on Shyvana, si Hero, he was caught by a trap and because of that, medyo
yun na nagpabago ng takbo ng laro.
is HQ, right? Was able to pick up the win on that.
Yes, very good job para sa team ng
TTS,
HQ sa
yeah.
pagpadalo sa laban na yun. Sa lahat ng mga ka-tune in pa lang, you're watching the Green Premier League 2014 Spring Season. Game muna tayo mga kaibigan, pero nag-boost pa tayo ngayon and I think meron silang issue and they're still trying to fix yung kanilang mga settings dito since kakapos na lang nung
Yeah, I
laban.
think they're just probably fixing their video settings and
Yes.
also making sure if they want to use the smart cast or whatever, little minor adjustments on their settings, and then as soon as they finish doing that, they'll resume the game.
Yes, para sa lahat ng mga di nakakalam ang lineup ng Team ISG dito, having Renekton, Amumu, Ahri, and then Severe and Leona. Para naman sa team ng IPT, they have Shyvana, Pantheon, Lulu. Also, we have Caitlyn and Annie dito sa bottom lane. So, bottom lane, Annie, Caitlyn versus dito kay Severe and Leona. The damage output coming from the team members of IPT dito ay sobrang hirap for Team ISG to handle. Knowing that they have Annie, the stun, the incarnate, what do you call this, yung kanyang fireball, yung stun coming from
Yes.
their team members dito. Sobrang
Fireball,
effective against
incinerate.
sa kanilang kalaban. Also, take note, Leona is a champion na melee. She is a melee champion. Kung saan, yung dominance niya magkakaroon lang dito ng chance against sa team ng IPT kapag mabuto siya ng level 6.
Actually, talking about that nga, yung sa Severe and Leon in the bot lane, because of those two picks that they picked up early, I didn't really like the pick of Windowlicka picking Amumu because Amumu is not really that aggressive at the very early stages of the game, and because of that, that might cripple the bottom lane a little bit. But of course, Amumu is this is the first time Amumu is being picked up here in the GPL this spring season, and I'm really interested to see how he'll perform in this game. As we all know, Amumu has provided one of the best utilities in the game, especially when he hits level 6. His Curse of the Sad Mummy is able to trap almost the whole team and can cripple team fights instantly. But first thing Amumu needs to do right now is, of course, hit level 6 so he can get to that level. As you can see right now, it doesn't look like IPT will be doing any early invade, so it should be relatively safe for Amumu to be able to pick up his blue buff without any problems.
So far this time mga kaibigan, still trying to defend their own jungle buffs dito. At wala gaano mangyayaring early team fight since kailangan nila i-secure talaga ang kanilang mga jungle buff. Not only Pantheon, not only Amumu is a champion na kailangan niya i-secure yung kanyang jungle buff dito. Also si Pantheon din, once na mahayaan niya na makuha yung kanyang blue buff or yung red buff niya dito, he just can't gank any lanes.
That's right.
Sobrang mahirapan siya also na makahabol sa early part of the game sa kanyang CS sa jungle route niya.
The only thing I like about the Amumu pick is because Pantheon is actually really slow in clearing his jungles at the first round, and Amumu is pretty much the same. So that should allow Windowlicka to, since there won't be any invade, he shouldn't have much problems. But IPT Rebenga on the Pantheon, of course, has a slightly superior early engage because of the very high movement speed of Pantheon, who has a high base movement speed of 355 if I'm not mistaken, while Amumu has only about 330 or 340 if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so far ngayon mga kaibigan, still drop ward galing dito kay Fear, and at the same time drop ward para kay Hero. So far that is to secure yung objective dito to get or to see how Team ISG get that blue buff. So far ngayon mga kaibigan, still kuha na kanina nila mga buffs dito, and I think Rebenga have to do something na i-secure niya kagad yung pagka-camp niya sa bottom lane dito, since once na makamp niya tong bottom lane, IPT can get the advantage in the bottom lane, since alam natin na IPT Fear Caitlyn against kay Fear, si Fear can just use his spell shield para ma-secure dito yung traps ni Caitlyn, but hanggang tumatagal ang laban, hanggang tumatagal at tumataba ang team members of IPT dito, kaya nila i-dominate yung bottom lane.
That's right.
Caitlyn can just stay away against dito sa team members of ISG and then give the poke damage na kanya ibigay and then win the team fight sa mangyayari dito. So far in the top lane, PBTY against kay Hero, having so much damage dito and still trying to get the minion kill to farm sa laban.
Yeah, actually, I'm surprised that IPT here is actually slightly losing to BBTY such an early part of the game, especially since BBTY actually helped Windowlicka try to secure the blue buff, and surprisingly, with BBTY was able to actually hit level 2 ahead of a Hero. We'll see what will happen here. Hero has to avoid taking damage from the calling from BBTY's Renekton, so let's see if Shinya will be able to harass properly BBTY and probably gain back that advantage.
Yes, so far in the mid lane mga kaibigan, Ahri versus Lulu in the mid lane. Still having a hard time dito mga kaibigan. Still ang ating CS dito lamang pa rin ang ating kaibigan na si Light, but the damage output candidates to team members of ISG. IPT Fear is having so much damage dito, but ignited mga kaibigan si Crazy Pine, and they have to use his barrier dito, and with that, one summoner spell from team members of IPT in the bottom lane, also one summoner spell para kay Crazy Pine. At disadvantage ito para kay Crazy Pine since wala na siyang barrier dito sa laban nila. At mga kaibigan, Zenith Blade galing kay Vera, and they're trying to chase Hatred with the damage of this boomerang galing kay Crazy Pine. They can't do anything since napakalayo ni Crazy Pine dito, and they have to secure the objective of getting the ADR instead of getting that champion na si Leona. At sobrang tanky niya. Take note, he's just going to use his Zenith Blade and then initiate sa kanyang kalaban. Team IPT can't do anything sa mga pangyayaring yun.
That's
They
right.
can't respond very well.
Actually, I would like to talk about the summoner spells picked up by Leona here. As you can see, na-mention ko to in our previous stream na may bagong trend na talaga na yun, especially for the supports. Hindi na talaga pinapick up ng exhaust. They always go for the ignite now, especially since sobrang aggressive na yun yung mga laning, and because of the supports now always picking up Doran Shield. As you can see, both supports have a Doran Shield right now. That additional HP and that damage block coming from the Doran Shield prevents the damage from the ADR, and that ignite is supposed to help lay down more damage so they can pick up the kill easier.
Yes, and that's the reason why meron pa parating na nerf sa ating Doran Shield dito. At the same time mga kaibigan, sila the bottom lane, Crazy Pine is very have to use his Zenith Blade to initiate the team members of IPT dito. But the damage output galing sa team members of IPT, grabe mga kaibigan, boomerang galing kay Crazy Pine. Fair can't do anything sa damage na tatanggap niya dito. Hindi namin mga kaibigan, Rebecca was being gacked first blood para sa team members of ISG. Shinya got that first blood, and with that, itong advantage ito mangyayari sa kanya sa mid lane, magbibigay sa kanila ng dominance over sa laban na to.
Yeah, Rebecca got caught out of position there, got stunned and charmed, then followed by Ahri's ball.
Yes, grabe, IPT got the life of BBT in the top lane. Good job.
There you have it. Like we mentioned, actually in the top lane, both Shyvana and Renekton are the most popular picks in the top lane right now, and it's not popular here in the Southeast Asian region, but in the other regions like the US and EU, the other champion that's always picked on top also is Mundo. And although we've seen a few Mundos already this season, it's not really a very popular pick right now. I guess it's because of all the ignites that are being placed right now.
Yes, IPT Fear was being chased, but the members of ISG have to flash in and then ignite galing kay Vera dito. And with that, Fear goes down. And I think ang problema doon, since alam natin lahat na Vera can just initiate his opponent, since nagamit na dito ni Fear yung kanyang barrier and then flash out, it wasn't enough to gain the advantage and win that team fight.
Yeah, actually it was the bouncing boomerang coming from Severe that actually picked up the kill for him. Bouncing off the minion, going to IPT Fear.
Hindi makaresponde ng maayos itong si Fear sa mga pagkakataon. Also si Hatred, lalo na si Hatred, since yung kanyang stand dito ay hindi niya ma-utilize ng maayos dahil sa medyo magkakaroon na ng mga teamfight dito once mag-Zenith Blade. Itong si Vera, but with the respawn coming from Caitlyn kay Fear dito, hirap na hirap siya makagain ng CS yet. Pantay pa rin ang ating CS dito dahil hindi gaanong dominant ang team ng ISG sa bottom lane. Ang nagagawa lang nila dito ay sure kill lamang. Hindi sila nagsasayang ng oras dito sa pag-advance, mga kaibigan dito. SS galing kay Amumu, they're trying to chase Light dito, but with the SS also kay Shinya, but mga kaibigan with the damage output using his wild growth. Also yung kanyang shield dito, good job para kay Light in the mid lane, sustaining his life.
And that's exactly the reason why a lot of people are actually picking up Lulu in the mid lane, because of the wild growth, they're able to prevent the burst damage coming from the mid lane of the opposing team, and also with of course the polymorph, they're able to also slow down the damage coming from the opponents, including the jungler.
Yes, very good pick para sa team members of ISG dito, having Leona and Severe. Kita-kita man naman na once na tumama ang Zenith Blade itong si Leona, sure shot ang boomerang dito ni Severe kung saan nagbibigay ng damage output sa team members of IPT. And they can't respond very well sa mga pangyayari ngayon. If ever na matamaan kagad si Fear dito, lampas kalahati kagad ng buhay niya. Stun ng Zenith Blade, and then yung second skill niya dito, yung kanyang AoE damage na manggagaling dito kay Vera.
That's right.
Yes, sobrang effective against si members of IPT.
Yeah, so actually the lineups from both teams are actually this is really the current meta right now. These are all very popular picks. Everybody's using. The only surprise pick coming here from ISG is the Amumu, like I mentioned, is actually the first time that was picked up this season. Alright, as you can see here in the top lane, IPT Hero doing a good job of clearing the minion waves under his surge, and Renekton on BBTY, or BBTI on Renekton rather, is actually continuing to shove the lane to the tower of IPT Hero, though I expect maybe I expect an early dragon pretty soon, especially after this
Pantheon uses Mandar at mga kaibigan in the bottom lane, and still they're trying to chase Crazy Pine, but with the ignite galing kay Hatred, Vera was being chased mga kaibigan with the stun galing kay Rebenga, and still trying to chase this Chubby with the stun galing kay Hatred. Will they be able to get the life of Vera, but with the second skill flash in galing kay Hatred, it wasn't enough to get that advantage of killing another champion dito, and with that they have to disengage. Still 2-1 ang score natin in favor of the member of kay ISG. With the SS of Crazy Pine, they have to chase Fear dito. Ignited mga kaibigan galing kay Shinya. Miss ang kanyang charm, but it was enough almost to get 2 life of the members of IPT. Still, Rebenga survived that team fight. Very good job kay ISG Shinya sa paggawa ng performance na yun. At gaya na sinabi natin, he is a player na hindi nag-stay sa kanyang lane.
That's right.
As soon as he got to level 6 dito, he ganked all the way the bottom lane to help and secure the objective of killing a champion dito. And with that, 2 assists para kay Severe. 3 assists na ngayon since nakuha nila ang buhay kanina ni Pantheon at ni Caitlyn.
That was actually good communication coming from ISG. As soon as that initiation happened, as you can see, like you mentioned, Shinya decided to rotate down to bottom lane and help with the pickup. I was kind of hoping that maybe Light would have also followed him and to help the members of IPT, especially when he realized that Shinya did not return back to the mid lane. But unfortunately, Shinya was able to pick up 2 kills. Actually, Rebenga tried to tank some of the damage coming from Shinya's ball, but it wasn't enough to save IPT Hatred from the return damage coming from Ahri.
Yes, and so far mga kaibigan, with damage output galing kay Crazy Pine, as you can see with his vampiric scepter, most probably is about to get his item dito, like yung BF sword niya. And if ever na makakuha siya ng BF sword dito, disadvantage na naman sa team members of IPT in the bottom lane mga kaibigan with the boomerang. Ignited si Vera kasi si Fear mga kaibigan with the barrier. It wasn't enough, at yun ang isang reason kung bakit barrier support champion getting the barrier instead of getting the exhaust.
That's right.
Mas matagal ang duration ng ignite dito kaysa sa barrier.
Yes.
So
actually, I'm surprised that the AD carries are not picking up Cleanse now with all the ignites that are going around us. As we know, Cleanse is able to remove that ignite and probably could save them more often than the
Yes,
barrier.
mga kaibigan, napakagod na pag-respond na galing sa IPT dito. Light uses wild growth and double kill para sa kanya dito. At dahil doon mukhang nag-miss at nagkaroon ng choke. Itong si Shinya sa ginawa niyang yun. He missed his first kill para dito kay Hatred.
Yeah, Windowlicka invading the jungle camp of Rebenga here in the top lane, forcing IPT here to back away from his own tower because since there's two members, both these champions, of course, Amumu and BBTY have a son, and I think Amumu's ultimate right now, Curse of the Sun, is still up, so that's forcing IPT here to back away. So I think Renekton might be able to do a lot of damage to this tower, especially with another group of minions actually arriving there. As you can see, BBTY trying to take down this turret. He's not sure if Amumu's there. IPT Light spotting Amumu, so this signals IPT here to go back to under his turret to stop BBTY from taking down his turret. Alright, so as you can see here right now, BBTY is just still hanging around the lane, expecting probably a gank again, but right now, Amumu deciding to go back to his own jungle camp. Leona roaming around, putting down some wards to protect Ahri here in the mid lane. Here in the top lane, Hero and BBTY still exchanging blows. I really don't think anything happened here until another gank coming up here in the top lane.
Yes, and so far mga kaibigan, in the laning phase sa top lane natin, BBTY versus kay Hero. Both a champion dito having the advantage of getting their CS and also 1 kill advantage para dito kay Hero sa pagkuha niya kanina ng buhay. Ito si BBTY in top lane. But ngayon mga kaibigan, since meron siyang Dominus, I don't think Shyvana or itong si Hero can get the life of BBTY ulit if ever na magkaroon ng mga teammate dito. But with the ganks coming from their junglers dito, yun ang magiging advantage niya sa laban. And mga kaibigan, Rebenga taking so much damage ganito kay Shinya, and they have to use his Spirit Rush to secure another objective. But since Rebenga just have to disengage, and if ever na mapasok siya nitong si Shinya, Light can just use his Wild Growth and yung shield niya to gain the advantage and contribute sa laban na yun.
Yeah, actually I think Pantheon could have still engaged that, but they decided not to, maybe thinking Amumu might be around the corner. That was actually not such a bad decision. Amumu a while ago actually camping the bottom lane a while ago, wasting a lot of time, but since none of the members of IPT was coming into lanes, Windowlicka decided to leave and go and take his blue buff now again.
Yes, mga kaibigan, team members of IPT is going to top lane, but mga kaibigan, magkakasalubong sila dito ni Amumu. And since nakita niya na mga team members of dito of IPT, they have to disengage. At dahil doon, mukhang magre-respond din ang mga kaibigan si Ahri in the mid lane. Top lane mga kaibigan, but in the bottom lane, still tuloy-tuloy pa rin tayo sa pagkuha ng turret dito. Crazy Pine and Vera is trying to get the first turret in the bottom lane, yet IPT Fierce trying his best to defend that turret. But mga kaibigan, with the damage output galing kay Crazy Pine, he is catching the damage output from Fear, but with the spell shield, he blocked the built over dito galing kay Fear.
That's right. Actually, here in the top lane now again, Shinya standing on top of a pink ward of IPT, and 4 members grouping here in the jungle of IPT.
Yes,
Rebenga trying to contest the blue buff.
Stun galing dito kay Windowlicka to get the life of Rebenga, but with the Wild Growth trying to respond, Rebenga goes down, and they're trying to chase Crazy Pine dito, but with his uses of Caliber Net, it wasn't enough to chase another champion dito. But mga kaibigan, 60 ang score natin, and 1 champion in favor of team members of ISG in that team fight. So far, medyo nagkamali at ang team members of IPT dito. Rebenga was left behind. Got caught by the team members of ISG dito. Hindi sapat yung Wild Growth at shield na nanggaling dito kay Light to secure another objective of defending his teammate.
There's a lot of the Ahri and Severe's, of course, spells are actually doing twice the damage since they do damage going and coming back. That's why the Wild Growth was not sufficient to protect Rebenga from all the burst damage coming from these two
Yes,
members.
ito na ba sinasabi ko, damage output galing kay Windowlicka as he's trying to chase Fear. But with the Grand Skyfall galing kay Rebenga dito, he's trying to chase Windowlicka. If ever Windowlicka got a chance to escape against this champion, Vera have to respond in the bottom lane. And with that, Rebenga have to use this engage mga kaibigan. Ignited galing kay Shinya. He's trying to chase Light dito with his Ignite, but he's also got ignited by the team members of Light. I mean, ang IPT dito, Light got his life. Konti na lang sana, if ever na magkatagal pa dito, makukuha niya yung turret, yung life ni Shinya dito, with the turret damage na magagaling sa kanyang turret.
Yeah, that ignite was actually a good call coming from IPT Light, forcing Shinya not to continue chasing him under the turn, because without that ignite, definitely I expected Shinya to be a little bit more aggressive and still continue chasing him under the turret. Alright, here in the top lane, it's actually Hero's turn to push the lane into the tower of BBTY, and BBTY, of course, doing everything he can to keep Shyvana away from his tower. Of course, he's using his calling to sustain here in the top lane. Here in the bottom lane now, we've got Crazy Pine continuing his very strong push potential with ISG Vera or Leona. As you can see, Both members are putting down a lot of wards here.
Yung solar flare galing kay Vera, followed up by SS galing kay Crazy Pine mga kabigan. They're trying to chase 3 members of IPT but they have to disengage. In the top lane, BBTY versus kay Hero. Ano kaya mangyayari doon? Ignited mga kaibigan. Si Hero with his dragon form, he can't escape mga kaibigan against kay BBTY. He used his ignite but I don't think makakatakbo na dito si BBTY. Good job para dito kay Hero. 1-1 exchange sa top lane. So far with that, 8-4 ang score natin in favor of team members of ISG. And the second dragon of this match get nakuha dito ng team members of ISG.
Yes, actually that clash or that fight in the top lane rather forced both champions to use both flash and ignite, and as you can see, it's really a very close fight between those two champions at the top lane, as both of them forced to use their ultimates, use their flash and ignite, and still it was an even trade 1-for-1 for both teams.
Windowlicka, as he's trying to chase or get the red buff of team members of IPT dito, nakita niya merong vision ward. And they have to do this ward mga kaibigan. So far ngayon, ang ating score 8-4 and ang ating goal difference ay almost 5k sa laban na to. And I think dominant na ngayon ang team members of ISG. Gaya na sinabi natin early part of the game, ISG will dominate this game dahil sa playstyle na ginagawa dito ng ISG. And so far, wala pang turret na nakuha dito ang team ng IPT.
Yes, actually this 5k gold is because of the dragon, the 1/3, and the slight gold advantage in terms of CS for the jungler and the bottom lane of ISG.
Yes, still ang ating CS matay maabin with a charm galing kay Shinya. Light goes down. Kita mo naman yung burst damage dito. Crazy Pie was left behind. T-burst galing dito kay Hatred, but it wasn't enough to get the life of Crazy Pine dito, yet the advantage of chasing a champion. Rebenga got the life of Crazy Pine. And the top lane Hero dito, 2 champion of team ISG. He's trying to chase Hero, but he still have his dragon form, and if ever na mag-initiate at magpilit ang team members of ISG dito, he can just disengage using his dragon form.
Yes, actually the reason why Ahri was able to easily burst down Lulu is because he has already completed his DFG, and he actually chained the DFG with the charm of Ahri, giving him a lot of magic damage boost from those combinations.
Yes, giving him almost 40% damage, additional damage output dito para sa kanyang kalaban. So very effective item, lalo na para kay Ahri. Having a Deathfire plus yung kanyang charm dito. Light didn't have the chance to use his wild growth para sa kanyang sarili, and also yung kanyang shield dito.
So it looks like this is something ISG Shinya probably prepared in advance, that he figured, alright, most assassins are unable to burst down Lulu, but with the DFG and charm of Ahri, it should provide him additional or enough additional magic damage to burst down even through the wild growth of Lulu. So good job coming from Shinya, picking up that nice strategy to burst down the Lulu at this level of the game.
Yes, and so far ngayon, do you think it's a good idea na kinuha ni Light yung kanyang summoner spell, itong ignite, instead of getting the barrier para kay Lulu?
Yeah, actually, most of the time, Lulu does pick up the barrier, since actually they don't really get that close to pick up the ignite. It is actually a surprising pick, but it really depends. Since there's actually no Mundo, I don't really see any reason why he had to pick up the ignite, but probably he just wanted to be able to fairly out-trade the Ahri, but since Ahri was able to already pick up the DFG, the ignite is not anymore that efficient anymore at this level of the game.
I think one reason kung bakit kinuha niya itong ignite is because he's trying to get the early advantage sa mid lane.
That's right.
As much as possible, he's trying to get the dominance sa kanyang laning phase dito. And then if ever na magkaroon siya ng chance na makuha yung buhay ni Ahri, he will get it.
That's
Kasi,
right.
ignite is a summoner spell. A summoner spell kapag ang champion mo dito ay aggressive.
That's right.
So knowing na pinili niya si Lulu using the ignite, I think hindi siya ganun na naging effective ngayon since Ahri's dominating his lane very well. Mga kaibigan na top lane, BBTY was left behind, and the stun galing kay Rebenga. Dominus, he have to use his Dominus, and he have to use his Slice as well para maka-disengage top lane.
Yes, so definitely those champions didn't want to chase Renekton, because as we know, as we can see, Renekton still has a lot of HP there, and with the Dominus giving a much needed boost of HP even more, they decided just to force him to waste his Dominus. And here in the bottom lane, ISG has rotated 3 members here to take down the turn. As you can see, both Ahri and Severe doing a lot of damage to the third of IPT. Members of IPT are also starting to group here to stop this push coming from
Very good job para kay Windowlicka using his first skill dito just in time. Also yung max range of that skill is a very effective para dito sa team members of ISG, and with that they picked a kill para kay Rebenga dito so far in the mid lane and bottom lane as well, being pressured by the team members of ISG, and IPT can do anything. Hindi sila makapag-responde sa ginagawang pag-pressure ng team ISG dito, and if ever mapabayaan sila, you're about to get the first the second tier turret in the mid lane, also in the bottom lane. So
Yes.
far, Curse of the Mummy galing dito kay Amumu or kay Windowlicka is still up. And if ever may mahulog siyang champion dito, he can just flash in and use his first kill, then follow up by Curse of the Mummy. A damage output galing kay ISG dito. So much for Team IPT to handle.
Yes,
Don't think
actually-
they can go against them since the crowd control coming from team members of ISG is very effective. Mga kaibigan, with the Grand Skyfall in the bottom lane, still walang tinamaan dito from team members of IPT. And they have to do something about the communication na meron sila dito. Kailangan mo una si Hatred na gumamit ng kanyang T-Burst or stun. If ever tatlong champion na matamaan niya, it's already a secured kill para sa kanila. But
That's right.
hindi sila nagkakaroon ng magandang communication dito. And with
Yes.
that, Rebecca is using his Grand Skyfall not that good.
That's right.
Wala siya
Poor
tinatamaan
communication
dito.
coming from IPT back there. Since, like you said, the Timbers should hold them in place long enough for Pantheon to drop his Grand Skyfall on the members of ISG. But I was surprised Pantheon did not decide to cancel his ultimate there, since he already saw that most of the members of ISG already has backed away from that. And of course, that was a wasted ultimate coming from Pantheon. A while ago, though, that was, like you mentioned a while ago, the bandage toss coming from Amumu to stun and give Pantheon a nice hug under his turret, cost his life. As we can see here, ISG doing a really good job of combining both the stuns of Leona on her Daniel Blade and the stun of the toss, bandage toss coming from Amumu, killing the IPT here on Caitlyn here in the bottom lane.
Yes, very good job for Team ISG having the 11-5 score dito in favor of their team. And so far in the bottom lane, a Zenith Blade plus a bandage toss is not any champion na gugustuhin mo matanggap yun. And if ever that is able na mangyari sa dito mga kaibigan, BBTO is being chased by two members of Team IPT dito. Slow and then Polymorph. BBTO have to use his Dominus and then flash out. But Slice and Die still to get away against these two. Champion flashing para kay Light. He's trying to chase BBTY. BBTY goes down. At 11-6 and score natin dito. Still, ISG in the bottom lane. Charm galing dito kay Shinya. He have to use his Spirit Rush and then yung kanyang first kill dito. And Shinya cut the life of Hatred in the bottom lane.
Actually, I'm starting to see the reason why they picked up the Amumu and the Ahri. The Amumu is basically to hold in place all the members of IPT, and then Ahri gets to move around the circle of Curse of the Sad Mummy to really do damage.
Yes, a flash in para kay Benga, but Charm galing dito kay Shinya. A rampage na si Shinya. And two champion of team members of ISG dito ay still nag-i-stall ng laban, but Windowlicka mag-responde is still having his Curse of the Mummy. If ever he chased Light, like what I've said, he have to use his flash in. The Charm na naman once again, shut down ni Light ito si Shinya, and they're trying to chase Crazy Pine. IPT Hero is enough to get the life of Shinya dito. I mean Crazy Pine dito with his spell sheet. Flash in mga kaibigan. Windowlicka trying to defend his AD carry, but since two champion dito having fear as well, one champion of team members of ISG goes down. And so far with that exchange, this is 2 for 2 in favor of team ng ISG since marami nangyari dito mga kaibigan. Man drop galing dito kay Rebecca. They're trying to chase. Vera goes down. Stun galing dito kay Rebecca. They're trying to chase BBTY. The damage output galing kay Fear. He don't have his red buff para maka-chase and magbigay ng slow dito sa team members of IPT.
Actually, mukhang narinig ka ng IPT, as like you mentioned, the stun coming from Tiver signaling Pantheon to do his man drop on the two members of ISG, and because of that, they were able to pick up one kill, and Annie was actually also still able to get away because of the slow coming from, or the stun coming from Pantheon.
Yes, if I'm not mistaken, bumaba yung difference ng ating kill dito at nakakahabol ng IPT sa ating kill advantage. But sa ating goal difference, mapapansin mo na 9k, almost 9k ang ating goal difference dito. At napakalaki yun. To be honest, tignan natin ang ating gold natin dito. So far ngayon, having the gold advantage in the mid lane, almost 2k ang gold advantage niya compared dito kay Light. One item, kung mas ito ay isang needless rod.
That's right.
It's a very very effective item against sa mga AP carries natin. Also, para naman dito sa ating bottom lane, we have 9.2k, 7k. Almost 2.2k. Getting the halos pwede na itong pambuo ng Bloodthirster.
That's right.
Compare that item advantage para sa team members of ISG. Very effective. And they're trying to get the first battle of this match if ever Team IPT can't respond sa laban na to. Nahirapan sila sigurado na masecure ang kanilang objective for the next 5 minutes. The battle buff will gain will help team members of ISG.
And as you can see,
Ahri with vantage toss para kay Rebenga. Rebenga goes down. Double kill para kay Shinya. Hero was the next target for team members of ISG. Yet, with the damage output galing kay Light, they have to disengage. With the damage output galing kay Crazy Pine, slowed mga kaibigan si Fear dito. And with his SS, if ever have the chance to chase IPT Fear, will he ever get that advantage mga kaibigan with the boomerang and barrier burn para dito kay Fear? It wasn't enough
to prevent the
escape.
damage. That's right. As you can see, actually, Shinya is actually going go full glass cannon and full burst damage, picking up already a void staff. And I think actually she might go for a Rabbit of Death Cap too. As you can see, Lulu is ready. He can easily burst down any champion from IPT. So this is something IPT has to be very careful. They definitely have to take out Shinya early, or else Shinya will just continue bursting down champions left and right. And since she has her ultimate to be able to bounce around or jump around the team of IPT, it's going to be very hard for IPT to lock her down.
Yes, and so far ngayon, mahirap na mapigilan si Shinya having his early dominance sa laban na ito. And if ever may isang champion dito na matamaan ng charm, sure kill na to. And with a stun galing kay Windowlicka, they're trying to chase team members of IPT dito. Hero have to use his dragon form. Shinya goes down. Very good job for team IPT. Trying to stall in the mid lane. To the bottom buff. Na burn na ito para kay Shinya.
Yeah, looks like IPT heard me this time, knowing that he has to focus down Ahri and not allow Ahri to free hit the members of IPT. Good job coming from IPT Hero, diving in and securing that kill on Shinya.
Yes.
Actually, that probably ended the streak that Shinya on Ahri has had this past few minutes.
And I think one thing kung bakit kailangan nakuha nila yung buhay dito ni Shinya is because walang spirit rush si Shinya that time.
That's right.
Nagamit niya yun kanina sa Baron to get the life of hatred. And very good job lalo sa team ng IPT trying to get that life of Shinya. Shut down si Shinya dito. Good advantage ay bumalik sa kanila ng kahit pa paano.
Yeah, actually, Shinya decided to go aggressive because he saw Windowlicka using his Curse of the Sad Mommy on 3 members of IPT, forcing Shinya to go closer. But of course, this was a mistake, costing him his life, because going too close to the Shyvana at this level of game is very dangerous.
Skyfall para dito kay Crazy Pine. He used his stun, but with the spell shield, that stun has negated mga kaibigan. But the stun, Solar Flare, Wild Growth galing dito kay Light, ignited from team members of ISG. They're trying to chase Rebenga next. Double kill para sa members of ISG. Hero have to use his recall to try push, and with that, 19-11 ang score natin in favor of the members of ISG. At mukhang tatapusin na nila ang laban na ito na top lane, getting the inhibitor turret at inhibitor.
Yes, as you can see, Windowlicka and Amumu is doing a really good job this game. As you can see, he already has a lot of tanky items. He's already picked up a Raja's Omen, as well as a Sunfire Cape, and of course his one item for his jungle.
Missed the charm galing kay Shinya dito, and they're trying to chase Hero. A third inhibitor stop lane yung kaibigan, and they're trying to chase Fear, and with that, Zenith Blade galing dito kay Vera, and IPT Hero have to use his dragon form, but with advantage toss, follow up by a very hard crowd control galing sa ISG. IPT Hero goes down, Windowlicka got stunned by Rebenga, and he have to use his Curse of the Mummy. Rebenga goes down by the damage output galing kay Crazy Pine. So far ngayon, 2 for non-exchange. At grabing dominance ang ginagawa ng team members of ISG ngayon sa laban na to.
That's right. Actually, Windowlicka surviving with almost only 100 HP, healing back really fast here in the jungle, since the heal he gets from his Spirit of the Elder Wraith. Sorry, what's that again?
Spirit of the Elder Lizard.
No.
What do you mean, the item?
Spectral Wraith. Yes, was able to heal up his life really quickly. Alright, so right now ISG picking up the dragon again on this game. This is, I think, the second or third dragon already for ISG right now. As you can see, this dragon is giving them a lot of gold, especially this late in the game. IPT deciding to contest this dragon.
Yes, and what I've said, the follow-up stun galing to team members of IPT, but it wasn't enough to get the life of BBTY. Curse of the Mummy still on cooldown. Wild Growth galing dito kay Light, but it wasn't enough to save the life of Amumu. I mean dito para kay Rebenga. But so far ngayon, 3 champion of team members of IPT was left behind. A stun, Zenith Blade galing kay Vera. 3 champion mga kaibigan of team IPT goes down. At naman ang bandage toss by galing kay Windowlicka dito, and he's trying to chase IPT Light. Still cooldown pa rin ang kanyang Curse of the Mummy. 2 members of ISG try to chase IPT Hero. If ever na mahuli siya dito, I think it's an ace flash in galing kay Vera, plus his Zenith Blade, but hindi umabot yung charm ni Shinya dito. With that, I think 4-4 non-exchange in favor of team members of ISG, and they're trying to get the inhibitor, the Nexus turret at Nexus as well.
That's right. So they decided not to chase IPT hero on the Shyvana, as we know, is very tanky. As you can see, this is actually a good move coming from ISG, deciding to go for the Nexus turn instead of the other turn in the mid lane. Windowlicka going down to IPT's Fierce Assassination, and as we can see here, IPT hero harassing Crazy Pine, but since there's still three more members of ISG right behind Crazy Pine, he decided not to continue the chase.
With the ace in the hole galing dito kay Fear. That was enough, already enough para makuha ang buhay dito ni Windowlicka. Windowlicka goes down so far, and ngayon, Nexus turret, inhibitor turret in the mid lane is got the team members of ISG. Also, natitira dito ay inhibitor na lamang, if ever na push nila ang lane na to. I think advantage na naman ng team members of ISG dito. So far, ang ating gold advantage ay almost 17k. It favors the members of ISG. Ang ating goal difference, ang ating kill advantage dito ay nasa around 14.
That's right. They're actually, IPT is having a very hard time right now, especially with the amount of CC or crowd control Windowlicka is providing on his Amumu. The stun from his bandage toss, including his Curse of the Sad Mummy, is just too much for IPT right now. As you can see, IPT here doesn't provide really any form of crowd control, and since he didn't pick up a Blade of the Ruin King for himself, he's having a hard time chasing down the carry of ISG. Since Severe has a speed boost on her ultimate, this will definitely give IPT a hard time bursting down ISG Crazy Pine, and of course Shinya, of course, with the high mobility provided by her ultimate, is also forcing IPT to giving them a hard time chasing down the members of ISG.
Listen, so far mga kaibigan, Team ISG is trying to get the second inhibitor in the mid lane dito for team members of IPT. And IPT can respond very well sa mga pangyayaring ito. Still BBTY trying to catch that spear. The javelin galing dito kay Rebenga, but it wasn't enough to get enough damage. A bar damage para dito kay BBTY. He's just regenerating the damage out of the mga kaibigan. Stun para kay Windowlicka. I think it's a very bad idea to stun Windowlicka since he is a tanky champion. IPT hero was there behind. He have to use his Baron, a Dragon Form dito. Baron Form, remember, they have to use his Curse of the Mummy as well. And Rebenga was about to go down. He stunned Shinya, but one champion from the members of ISG. The life of, nakuha nila ngayon ng team members of ISG dito. So far, two members of IPT was left, and they're trying to get the Nexus.
Looks like this might be GG for IPT, and ISG winning the game 30-14 at 32 minutes and 39 seconds.
Yes, grabe medyo ako dun na Baron Form. Yet, very good job para sa members of ISG for winning this match against the team ng IPT. So far, with that team fight, IPT did a very good job in the early part of the game, but since hindi sila makarespond sa pag-ganks na nangyayari dito from team members of ISG, the dominance of the laning phase, the ganks coming from Shinya, actually, nagulat ako sa nangyari. Amumu, para sa team members of ISG dito, na champion na hindi mo usually makikita na nagagank in the early part of the game. But in the early part of the game, since he's a champion na sobrang mabilis yung kanyang mobility dito. Also, yung effectiveness niya in the laning phase, yung crowd control niya, he used it very well against his opponent dito. And also in the bottom lane, yung consistent na consistent na pagsugod ni Vera para kay Fear dito. Fear can't do anything, and also Annie can just can't respond sa mga pangyayari ngayon. Once na mag-Zenith Blade si Fear, kahit stun niya isang member dito ng ISG, kaya mag-hit natong si Crazy Pie na mag-isa dito sa laban na to.
Yeah, actually I would like to think that Windowlicka might be the MVP for this game, because he was actually able to help all his lanes actually win the lane, because he was able to gank Pantheon at the mid lane, counter gank Pantheon at the early levels, giving first blood to Shinya, and then even the bottom lane, he with his excellent Curse of the Sad Mummy, he was able to stun 2 or 3 members of IPT several times here in the bottom lane, forcing members of IPT to back away. But since Severe has, of course, her ultimate, is able to chase the rest of the members, they're able to easily pick up more kills.
Yes, and so far, very good job para sa team ng ISG. And with that, MVP award para kay Windowlicka. Very good job doing his jungle route very well sa laban na to against ng IPT. Again, sa lahat ng mga ka-tune in pa lang, you're watching the Green Premier League 2014 Spring Season. I am GG Sphere.
And I'm Jay.
So bukas meron tayong mga PGS, ating pro gaming series. So sa lahat ng mga nagabang ng ating schedule for tomorrow's matches, tignan nyo lang sa ating League of Legends fan page, League of Legends page, fan page dito. So bago ang lahat, Jamie, meron ka ba gusto sabihin?
Yeah, just in case the other people are wondering, the last game for tonight was supposed to be between MLE. They had to postpone their match for another day, so it will be moved to next week, since I believe MLE Canute is actually sick right now, so they had to have the game moved. Alright, so that will be the last game for tonight. So I hope you guys enjoyed the games that we showed today. Ikaw, GG Spear, do you have anybody you'd like to greet before we go?
Gusto ko lang batiin lahat ng mga tao na nandito, ang mga mods natin, at mga kasi natin kayo na pumunta. Also yung happy birthday kay syempre sa ating bossing na si Rage Stargazer. Yan, happy birthday kay Sir Reg. Sa lahat ng mga GMs na nandyan ngayon, thank you very much for watching. Sa ating mga friends, sa lahat ng mga summoners, maraming salamat sa lahat ng mga nanonood ngayong gabing ito.
Alright,
And,
so also don't forget, since you're watching the GPL on a regular basis, or if it's just your first time to tune in, don't forget to click the follow button down below over here, there. Just click it there in the window so that you will be notified as soon as we go live. And of course, I'd also like to say hello to my family and friends, also Mama Vanji, Jadi, my sister Jill, and my girlfriend, including her sisters. And also Nico Gagale, and also the LPHM admins for helping us or supporting us through the streams. Alright, so that's about it. Is there anything else?
Thank you very much lahat na nanonood ngayong gabi ito. You're watching the Green Premier League 2014 Spring Season. I am GG Sphere.
And I'm Jay.
Kita-kits tayo ulit bukas. Good evening sa lahat and good night.